Welcome everybody to Broadcast Team Alpha, where we bring you cutting edge conversation while exploring the quantum possibilities. And tonight we are going to knock it out of the park again, talking about quantum possibilities. Thank you for being patient with us. We had a lot of interference, and I know you understand what that is, but you know the light is shining so brightly in our Zoom room and in our chat room that look what happened. We're here. Before we get started, I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for connecting with us. Last week, some people sent in super chats and I didn't get to acknowledge you. Thank you so, so much. You can connect with us at broadcastteamalpha.com, the Mastermind Connection. We'll talk more about that later. I want to tell you about our guest. She's a healer. Not only a healer, but she's a Reiki Grandmaster, and that's something. She's the Divine Mother Oracle. She's instrumental in the rebirth of holistic medicine. Returning it, right? Think about this. Returning holistic medicine to where it should be, where it would have been had it not gotten corrupted by mainstream medicine, right? She herself overcame MK Ultra mind control. And she works with people around the world to break the mind control programs. And our amazing guest does it by healing the body, the mind, and the spirit with her Reiki. I am so pleased to give you the most beautiful, radiant Salini Teri Apodaca. Hi, Salini. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Nori. Hi, Augie. Hi, everybody. I'm happy to be here.
Aw,
I'm happy to be here at this momentous turning point in history where we're all going to wake up and
yes.
make my contribution.
I love that you're saying we're all going to wake up, because some people think that not everybody's going to make it. Is that true?
Well, I think we're seeing that some people didn't make it who got double jabbed and have passed on. And I think that's their soul contract, was to show us that this is not the way to wake up.
Yes.
And they got consumed by fear and deception. They were deceived by the lie and the dark forces. That doesn't make them bad people.
Of course.
So I think anybody who got deceived that way and crossed over is waking up on the other side and is going to help us.
Oh, I love
So
that. I love that.
yeah, I know it's true, because I've had communications from beings from the other side telling me that they prepared a special, it chokes me up to think about it, but a
Yes.
special healing dome just for the people who were deceived and vaccinated,
Oh my
and
God.
that they were going to be healed and woken up on the other side. So, but they did a service to those of us who are still here, because little groups of people are waking up as one of their family members crosses over.
Wow. Oh my God.
I
Thank you.
guess
Thank you for saying that. It offers not only so much hope, but it softens the pain, of knowing that they're going to get what they need on the other side. So thank you for that. Augie, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
that's okay. That's okay. I guess we just have to remember that no one really dies. They just walk into a different environment, and from that environment, they can be more powerful than they were here. So they could come back and influence us to do what we need to do and rise to a higher vibration.
That's exactly right, Augie. It's this is a long millennia of lifetimes of getting to the point where we're ready to wake up. Not everybody's at the same level of consciousness. So some people, we were raised in a medical pharmaceutical environment and think that that's healthy and normal. But for those of us, I was also raised with a lot of holistic techniques. So I knew very early that I didn't know the whole story. I mean, we didn't all know, but I figured out at some point that regular medicine was not good for us. And so, we have to forgive ourselves for not knowing better, because it's been 100 years. Rockefeller crashed the holistic medicine industry in 1918, 19, and 20. That's when he started passing laws, and he used the Spanish flu epidemic to force the vaccine agenda. And that's when they really started jabbing people, was back then. And then it accelerated ever since to this moment in time. This was planned 100 years ago.
Wow.
So they've been preparing us for this genocidal moment, but too many star seeds are here. The prophecy stated that the waves of star seeds would start coming in the 50s. And so, although I think my mother was a star seed and an early indigo, but I'm in the first wave, and then my kids are in the next wave, and now we have the crystal children arriving,
Yes.
and they're going to heal the planet. And that's why they're trying to vaccinate them like crazy.
That's why they're including the kids now, huh? Yeah. Wow. Wow.
They're not going to stop us. There's no amount of chemicals, vaccinations, poisons, chemtrails, nanoparticles that can stop God's power and God's intent for this planet to awaken. This is a predestined prophecy and moment in time that everybody wakes up. The energy is here for it. It's going to happen.
Yes. I have chills.
Yeah,
Oh
totally.
my goodness. So you broke out of the MK Ultra mind control. How did you even figure out that you were under it? I mean, how does that happen? That's really a powerful happening. How does that happen?
Well, needless to say, not everybody is going to realize that
Yes.
went through it. And there was actually close to 50 million young people were forced into the MK Ultra program. Most of them have remained mind controlled. But because I was exposed to Reiki and the Grandmaster as a child, I think I was born awakened. But, when you're a little kid, you aren't necessarily aware of what your powers are.
Sure.
And then fortunately, my mother was interested in healing and spirituality. So she started teaching me things, and she took me to Zen masters, to Zen sessions. She was a Zen Buddhist, and to healers and psychics and healing practitioners, and just anybody you could imagine throughout my whole childhood. And always, she seemed to know that I had a mission.
Wow.
She would always ask them, what is her mission? She has a mission. I know she does. And that, her faith in me had really helped me. And then she brought Mrs. Takata, Hawaii Takata, the Grandmaster of Reiki, to
Amazing.
our home. And my mother's responsible for launching Mrs. Takata in the continental United States.
Wow.
So she stayed with us every year for, I don't know, long after I left, so it was like at least 15 years, maybe 20. And I was mentored by her for 20 years. So I started getting Reiki healing treatments at the age of 9.
Wow.
So it was like the first half of my childhood was the MK Ultra, the second, and all the abuse that goes with that. The second half was initiations into divine power and healing and all of that. So that's the beginning. The answer to your question is that when I became a Reiki master, I broke my programming and I began to have memories.
Yes. And
it was really hard for me to believe it, but I was having memories of being, the MK Ultra experience. And I thought, is this real? I mean, it's really hard to face the fact that you might actually be an MK Ultra.
Yes.
It's one thing to read about it. It's another thing to really, oh my God, this is me.
Yes.
And I had a lot of clues that it was real, and a lot of visions and memories. I think that it was when I met a healer who worked on me. I had pneumonia.
Oh.
And I was experiencing a release of memories, and she worked on me. I didn't say anything to her about my history. She was an acupuncturist, and she said to me, she goes, "Oh, so your father was a Mason and you were a sex slave." And it's like, she just looked at my aura. That's all she did. We didn't talk about it. I didn't tell her anything.
Yeah.
And I said, "Now, how can you tell that?" Because she said, "It's marked in your aura." So it's the black magic that they mark you, the Masonic symbols that they mark you with. And she said, "But you've broken it and you're going to be free."
Wow.
And I thought, so it's true, isn't it? And she said, "You were a sex slave as a child, weren't you?" And I said, "Yeah." It's just like, you're the first person who really recognizes it. And so from there, I had already been talking to my sister and my brother about it. And then not long after that, I met the JFK assassin. And that's when I began deprogramming him. That's a whole nother story in and of itself.
Wow. Is that in your book?
No, it's not. I mean, I can tell you if you want to know, because
I, yeah,
that's when I figured out how to do it.
I'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, well, so I was doing my research, I was having my memories, and then I got really sick and almost died, and I had a near-death experience. I've had several. So once I had 3 weeks of memories, including the MK Ultra, then I came down with viral meningitis, and I left my body and went up, came back. I said to God, I'm not ready to go. I've got children to raise. Please show me how to heal this. I claim the healing that Jesus told us that
Yeah.
we could have. And
Yeah.
that means that you have to believe that
Yes.
your body is immune to all of this and has the capability to heal itself. Now, I had a way worse virus than this one going around.
Wow.
Viral meningitis is almost always fatal
Yeah.
or very, very seriously, crippling.
Yes.
And I had a fever for 3 weeks straight of 105. So you
Yeah.
can imagine what that was like. And that fever in and of itself is a purifying experience. And
Yeah.
so I had this purifying experience, and I had a communion with God. And I said, I know how to heal. Show me how to do it. I claim it. Jesus said that anybody could do this. I said, I claim this power and I claim it for my body. I said, show me how to do it and I will heal people for the rest of my life. I become your servant.
Aw.
And just like that, I dropped it down into my body, and God showed me like a movie. This is what causes illness. This is how you heal it. This is, the whole 9 yards about the truth about healing, which has nothing to do with what doctors do or vaccines.
Right.
And so I claimed it, and then my body healed. And when I went to the doctor and asked for, I was up and out of bed, and I wanted a blood test. What did I have? So he gave me a blood test, and he came running back in the room. He said, I need to take you to the hospital today. You're going to die today.
What?
And I said, I already died. I said, I already died and came back. And he said, well, you don't have any red blood cells. He said, all there is in your body is just dead white blood cells. You've been fighting an infection. I said, yeah, I know. Tell me something I don't know. Like,
Wow.
what do I have? And he said, you have viral meningitis. You're not going to make it through the night. And I said, I already died and came back. You're looking at God's miracle. And
Oh,
I said, this is what it looks like when God comes in and brings the body back to life with the life force. That. And he said, well, that doesn't fit what I learned. And I said, and there is your problem, is that you
exactly.
haven't come to understand the principle of divine chi, of God's divine energy can heal
Yes.
anything. And so he and I talked about that. He was like, I don't know what to tell you. I want you to go to the hospital. I said, I'm okay. And now I just want to know what I have. And he told me I have viral meningitis. He said, I've never seen anyone recover from this.
Yeah.
And I'm really concerned about you. And I was okay. I got okay. I mean, I was tired, but I got okay. And that was the first one.
Wow.
Later I had typhoid fever and breast cancer. So I
Oh,
also healed myself with Reiki of all
wow.
three. So after that experience, to answer your question, soon afterwards, I'm back to work, and this man entered. I was a drug and alcohol counselor and addictions counselor, as well as a Reiki master. And I had a client enter my office. He was assigned to me. We didn't choose our clients. I was working at a big treatment facility. And he told me that he was an alcoholic and that this was his 5th attempt to get sober. And he said, this time I have to do it. And he said, I love my wife and she's going to leave me if I don't get clean and sober.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, let's get started. So in that particular facility, we did sodium pentothal, which is truth serum.
Yeah.
And that is the only place I ever worked at where we did that. And I'm so glad we did, because the way that worked was that we would find out things from the client while they were under the truth serum, and then we would counsel them. And nobody uses that anymore, but at this particular facility they did. And so we gave him his sodium pentothal treatment, and he had no information coming through. The only time people don't give up the truth during sodium pentothal is when they've been mind controlled.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So all he would say was, you could say, when did you start working? He'd say, I wish I spent more time with my family. What was your job? I wish I spent more time with my family. So he was really deeply programmed.
Mhm.
So I called him into the office after that and said, your sodium pentothal reveals to me, your session reveals to me that you've been mind controlled, possibly because there's no information. And he began to say, I think I have been mind controlled. And so we started to talk about it a little bit more. And I said to him, may I use, I at this point was developing a mind, really, with Reiki, deprogramming program. I said, may I use that on you? And he said, yes. And of course, that wasn't part of the program at this place, but I did it on him. I did my super duper Reiki deprogramming. And it didn't take very long. Let me tell you, boom, it broke it because it's God's divine energy.
Exactly.
And he called me in the middle of the night and he said, I'm having massive memories. I need you to get here right away.
Wow.
So when I could get down there, he was just in tears, sobbing. And he said, I have some very, very hard things to tell you. And I need to get this off my chest. This is why I'm an alcoholic. So he began to tell me, he said, I was a hitman in the CIA. And I was in a group called the Caucasian Squad. And this group was responsible for a lot of murders all over the world, but always just of white people. And he said that they have a different group for each, except he said he was on the Special Assassination Squad. And so they assassinated political enemies. And he said, think about the assassinations of the 60s. And I said, are we talking about what I think we're talking about? And he said, yes.
Wow.
So I said, were you involved in JFK's assassination? And he said, yes. And he said, I was the man on the grassy knoll. Now, let me tell you, this is not, I didn't make any money from this. I haven't written it in a book. He didn't make any money. It's been nothing but trouble for me since the day I found out. So, I'm not getting anything out of that information.
Right.
So he proceeded to tell me the entire somebody else killed so that you won't report on.
So Salini, of
So
course,
he had to go to he didn't know until the last minute. What's that?
You're breaking up right now, which is so interesting, right? We're hitting the highlights of what you have to say to us. So could you just
I
go
can't
back?
hear you.
Yeah, go back a little bit when you can hear me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
We didn't hear that last chunk of the story after he revealed that he was part of the JFK.
Okay. See, they probably interfering, and they'll just say to them, the truth is already out there.
Yes.
And they don't need to be afraid because the truth is out there anyway. We all know the truth. So he was forced to go to the grassy knoll. There was a man standing there with a gun on his head. And they said, you're the one that's going to kill JFK. And if you don't, he was given the assignment was my client. And since then, I've actually seen a picture of someone on the knoll. It was definitely of him, and that he tried to get the camera away from them. And so when that happened, when he told me the whole story, he said that
they're
after he made the shot, they rushed him off to an airport and took him to another location.
I'm suggesting maybe turn off the video so you get a better
the favor that I got.
Yeah, so Salini, they're really interfering. I'm so sorry, my goodness.
Yeah, sure, right at the right time. But turn off the video because that eats a lot of bandwidth, and maybe just audio only will help.
If she's frozen, I don't think she can hear us.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she turned her video. Yay. Salini, are you with us? Mac, do we lose her?
No, she's still here, but...
Okay, is that better?
A little better. Talk.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I can't see either of you, but I can hear you. Oh wait, now I can see Augie.
Okay.
Okay.
So shall I continue?
Please,
Yeah.
we can hear you now. Yes.
Okay. Tell me if you can't hear me.
All right.
So, okay, now I can see you both, and it seems to be back to
Okay. We'll give
normal.
it a
I'll leave
try.
my video off.
All right.
So, at that point, he shared with me that in order for him to continue to live, so, you know, he knew the whole operation. He had committed a lot of hits for people at the top, and their reward to him was to let him go free, but he had to submit to mind control.
Wow.
So he went to the into an underground dumb base, one that we've been hearing about,
Yes.
where he said that he was forced to go through 6 months of daily LSD and traumatic mind control.
Wow.
You know, which I experienced. I didn't have LSD, but they mind controlled me, and I don't know, maybe that I did have LSD. I don't know. I would have been too little to know.
Sure.
So I don't think so. I don't recall anything like that, but I remember a lot of abuse and trauma and stuff like that. So he described the whole program, and I realized that this is exactly what I went through. And the fact that he recovered completely, got sober, and let me tell you why he's sober, because he was in love. And he said it was finally he was in love, and that he loved his
Aw.
wife and she loved him, and that she said, I'll leave you if you don't get sober.
Wow.
And so there it is, you know,
That's
love,
beautiful.
love heals.
Love
Love
heals
Yeah.
some
heals.
big things. My goodness.
And here's a man who was very dark, but I'm not going to close the door to anybody who comes. He wasn't dark like somebody like George Bush Sr., you know.
Yes. Yes.
Those people are the dark overlords. He was a very low level minion. So, you know, he told me he got sucked in through his alcoholism and his sex addiction.
Sure.
So he said he didn't want to do what he was doing.
Aw.
So he recovered in this lifetime in my presence. That
Wow.
tells me anybody can recover. If somebody like that can recover, anybody can recover.
Yes. Yes. Amazing. Amazing, Salini. Thank you. That is what a blessing you are. You know, I'm so happy that God said you had to be here at this time. So
Salini,
happy.
I
did
guess
I?
so. I hope I can make it through all this.
You can make it.
Yeah. Did I hear you right before when you said there could be 50 million people that have been mind controlled?
Yes. That's
Wow.
just the United States. And around the world, in every country, there's mind control. This is a thousands of year old technique that comes from the Satanists, and Dr. Joseph Mengele was the creator of MK Ultra,
Right.
and
Yeah.
he was allowed to continue to live after World War II, and he came to the United States under an alias known as Dr. Green, and he went around, and sometimes they called him Uncle, and I have had clients who met him, and so he was mind controlling people throughout the United States and probably Canada and Europe as well, even after the war. So that's how this thing got established, but it goes way back, you know, even possibly to the Egyptians. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, it does go back.
Wow. My gosh. Well, Salini, tell us the good news. Tell us how you work with people and how Reiki helps break their programs. I love this.
You're muted, Salini. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
I'm sorry for the interference, you know.
It's okay.
So I can say briefly to those dark ones who still control the airwaves, it's time for you to surrender and come to the light, because
Exactly.
you will not survive what's coming. You will be sacrificed. They will not protect
Yes.
you. So join us. It's better for you to come to the light and submit to your healing. We welcome you with love.
We do.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's some powerful stuff, Salini.
My whole life's been like that.
Wow, wow. So people can. I know you're not. You're traveling a bit, and then you're going to be available to do sessions. When people come to you for a session, how does that happen? Is it
Yes.
on Zoom or?
Yes, I do. I have a mystery school. And in the mystery school, I'm teaching Reiki, I'm teaching Jedi warriorship, I'm teaching mind control release. And we're just now getting it all up. And people can come and see me in person once I get settled. And up till now, I've been teaching Reiki now for over 30 years.
Amazing.
So every time somebody learns Reiki, they break their programming a little bit more, you know. It's all about breaking up lower vibrational thought forms
Yes.
that are implanted into our minds and energy frequencies that are planted into us. And when you bring in God's divine frequency, all that goes away.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
Mm. Wow.
Amazing. So, if people come to you and they don't know that they were under mind control, but they are released from it, from the healing, do they really need to know, or do they want to know, or?
Yes, they need to know.
They need to know.
Because it's about awakening to your higher consciousness. Like, to a certain extent, Nori, both of you and all of us are mind controlled.
Some of us more than others. Yeah.
And it's, yeah, I mean, we were raised to think that it's like there were 7 basic foods. We were raised to think that Christopher Columbus was a good guy and that he discovered America. You know, Christopher Columbus was the original sex trafficker, and he's the one who established the sex trafficking trade in the United States.
Yeah.
He was a slave trafficker, and he sold little girls, little Native American girls under 10 years old to European nobles.
Yeah.
Yep.
So these are the lies that we've been taught. It's a mind control program, and we're taught to salute and to do all these different things. You know, what do we know? We're just children.
Exactly.
So when you wake up to the reality that we're actually controlled by alien beings. I have been controlled by alien beings for many thousands of years who've been altering our mind and our DNA. And this is ending now because the war is on. The spiritual war is on. And the angels have arrived. We star-seated angels are here. And I'm an angel warrior, let me tell you. I may be a woman, but I'm a warrior because I've had to fight this. I've had to fight. Once they saw that I woke up, I was targeted.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you have a piece of the truth and the ability to heal people, they're going to target you.
Yes.
And so they tried and failed. And I published my book anyway, and I'm healing people anyway, and I'm telling the truth anyway.
Thank God. Thank God. And I don't know if Mac, yes, I don't know if Mac has put up your website in our feed, but Salini's book is Emerging from the Matrix, and it's available on Amazon, and you said one other place. I don't know if Salini can hear me.
Here, let me turn my camera on.
Your book
Here's my book.
Yes, it looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Emerging from the Matrix.
Oh, I'm sorry about my backdrop.
That's okay.
I'm emerging from the matrix.
Yes.
And not only is my book emerging from the matrix,
Yeah. You're buffering, so turn
I'm
that.
emerging. And so let me see if this is easier to see. Yeah. So the book is titled Emerging.
Now turn the video off again.
Emerging from the Matrix. You buffered right there. Yeah. I'm going to put it in the chat, guys.
Yeah.
Emerging from the Matrix. And it's on Amazon, and it's on one other place that I don't recall, but I will let you know. Yeah, we lost her. Darn it. See, that's what happens. They don't want the truth coming out, but you know what? We got a bunch of truth out tonight, guys. Yay.
Yeah.
Yay. God bless her. She's amazing. Salini
Wow. No, she
Teri
just, she just,
Apodaca. S-E-L, oh no, it's Salini, Teri, Teri, Apodaca, Apodaca. Her book is Emerging from the Matrix. I say we all go to Amazon tonight and buy it. I know I am.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Oh, there, you're back. You're back. Thank you.
I'm sorry about this, but it's not surprising.
It's not you. I kind of expected it. I did.
Well, when we're talking about interference, we have really clear evidence right now, because that interference started right at the moment of something that we all really wanted to hear.
Yes.
Yep, it did.
Yeah,
but I said it anyway,
yes, you did.
didn't I?
Sure did. We got it out. Aw.
Yeah, the
Uh,
truth heals. The truth heals and the truth liberates us. So it's going to liberate even the bad guys. Everybody's going to wake up. One day they're going to go, you know what? This isn't any fun anymore.
Yeah.
Because they get tortured. They're most of the people that are doing things like this are also MK Ultra. They've been end time programmed. We've all been programmed for this end time scenario. And it's not much fun for those that they are required to do a lot of dirty things, or then they get abused,
Mm.
So it's much more fun over here in the light.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So they should come. They should come over to the light.
And they will eventually. All of the darkness will be healed by the light eventually.
And once they come to the light, then the other powers that be have no hold on them.
That's right. But it's not gonna happen overnight.
Yeah.
This we're in the process. We're in the battle right now.
Right.
There is literally, it's not just a ground battle, although there is a ground battle taking place. This is a battle in the astral with demonic beings. And I've had to fight them, so I know what it's like.
Yeah, and I see too that the cleansing goes across the board, because the people that is, let's say, in government positions and stuff, they are actually also cleansing out themselves right now. So maybe that's a good thing. They go and they're done here. So after that, all that cleansing has happened, I think there's going to be a cleaner environment. And maybe I'm just trying to be a little extra diplomatic in the language here, knowing where, all this is going to be recorded and so on. But I think we all understand.
That is exactly what's going to happen. And what you're witnessing is the death of the matrix. Yeah. And the clearing of the old paradigm. And that requires a healing crisis. So that's why I got sick. I mean, my life is a perfect example that I got sick when I remembered that I was an MK Ultra.
Yes.
And I wasn't sick before that. And then one day I remembered the truth and all the memories surfaced. So my tissue was releasing the trauma. So, I had issues in my tissues, and it was the trauma rising from the depths of unconsciousness and being released by the light of God's love. And so I completely went through a really rough healing crisis. Let me tell you, I've had many years of it. It wasn't just one illness. I had breast cancer. I lost my family members to it. My sister died from the abuse. Oh. I had typhoid fever, fibromyalgia, pneumonia, and chronic fatigue.
Wow.
And I was sick for about 15 years. And then was the targeting on top of that. I was targeted by the deep state.
When they target you, how does that show up for you?
All kinds of different ways.
I mean, they literally follow you, right? Around in your
Well,
life.
there's V2K, voice to skull.
Yes.
So that was an interesting experience. I had that for about 6 months. It's like I got to see it all, so I could see what they were doing. Where they will shoot radio voices at you in the night.
Yes.
And during this one particular period, every night I would hear somebody calling my name and saying, "Wake up, wake up, wake up," at 3 a.m. every morning. And I thought it was a ghost or something. I thought, what's going on? Why am I hearing this every single night? And I left that apartment and moved to Hawaii after 6 months. I didn't want to be there anymore.
Yeah.
And when I got to Hawaii, it was all gone. And what I found out in the course of my research is that if you cross a body of water, folks, it'll break your programming.
Wow. Great.
It's water. Water is connected to the life force. So if like you take a trip across the ocean, it's going to break your programming. And when I got to Hawaii, I went there to write the book, and I had more memories, but they weren't traumatic anymore because I'd had 20 years of healing, and I became a devotee of the Holy Mother Amachi, and she healed me, and she named me Salini. She's the one who named me Salini.
Aww.
So I received an initiation into divine motherhood, which is about unconditional love and forgiveness. And that's what made it possible for me to forgive my abusers. And because many of them were my father was mind controlled and abused.
Yes.
And forced to go into the Masons. And he was also sexually abused and beaten and thrown out into the street. So he was like crazy by the time I came along, you know.
Yes.
I don't want to hate anybody at this point, you know, because that energy traps you in the lower vibration. So as I have released through all of my anointings, all of that dark energy, I'm here to hold the clear energy for anybody who wants to heal.
I do.
Okay, well, come see me.
I mean, I have to tell you, I'm having memories right now. I mean, just pieced together. Here's a crazy thing, Salini. My father was in the Masons,
Okay.
and he stood up to them and left. It cost him, I'm just figuring this out now, it cost him a testicle.
Wow.
Hmm.
So did they come after him and take it off, or what?
I don't know
Excuse
how
me
it
for asking.
happened. I was a little girl, but he was taking me out to Montauk Point.
Oh
And
my God, you've been to Montauk?
yes, yes. And he had the Masonic ring, and I would always go in his jewelry box and go, "Mom, what is this? What is this?" And she's like, "Oh, just close the drawer. You know, we don't want to talk about that." And then the ring was gone. So he stood up against them. You know, I don't know what else they did to him the only thing I know is that he did lose a testicle. Um, and then he lived his life, I think, relatively free from them. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, do you think that you went through some sort of abuse, Nori?
Oh, 100%. Yes.
I'm so sorry.
I'm ready to come get healed.
You're awake. And
Mm.
see, even though here's the way to look at it. This has been going on for thousands of years. And some of us may have been slave masters in another lifetime, torturing other people.
Yeah.
So this time around, we decided that we're going to wake up. And the price of waking up is the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The price of waking up is going through the energy of trauma. And it's painful.
So painful. Yeah. So this
Yeah,
is
this is not an easy journey. There's no way. I just have to say to your listeners, awakening is traumatic. It doesn't
absolutely.
mean everybody's been MK Ultra. It just means that whatever's happened to you in this lifetime and other lifetimes, you have to integrate and heal with the light so that it no longer drags you down into the lower vibration.
Yeah.
Because then you get trapped in cycles of reincarnation. And I'm not coming back.
Right. I'm done. Thank you. You're gonna have a lot of visitors to your website, and a lot of people want to talk to you. I just love what you have done here tonight. I am so grateful to have met you, and I cannot wait to work with you. And people in the chat room, I put your website, but if you could let them know where they can find your books, Amazon, and where else?
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble, Amazon.
And yes, and can I, are we almost done?
We
Is
have
that
about 7 minutes, and I want you to say anything you want to say.
I would like to invite everybody to my Wednesday night live group Zoom healing and my Reiki healing circle every Wednesday that I do live just like this on Zoom. I have space for 100 people. And if you're suffering and awakening or healing or in pain or whatever, we join. I give you a group healing. We do a group meditation, a little bit of talking. And I'm starting with some speakers. I'm going to have Laura Eisenhower on pretty soon. And it's free. And I can do it right now free. I mean, it depends on how it goes. But I would ask people to join my Love Tribe if they would like to, or make a donation. The Love Tribe is $10 a month. It's on my website. And there you can receive extra bonuses if you're in my Love Tribe.
Okay.
And my goal is to connect everybody in community and healing and light and truth. And of course, love. So that's going to be every Wednesday unless there's an emergency or something. It's 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. The link is on my webpage, salini.love, right in the very front. And then I invite the rest of you to join me on your healing journey by coming on my mystery school and becoming a Jedi warrior and taking Reiki. And we're going to defeat these beings. We're going to transmute this energy and we're going to overcome. I'm turning my camera on.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
Because I want you to see that there is hope and that I am an example of what it means to be completely healed, and that they tried to kill me and they didn't. So this is what it looks like to be reborn. This is what it feels like to have love in your heart. And this is what it means when we all join together in the light, because we're going to help each other. We're more powerful as a team than individually. They want us to be separate. They want us to be scared. They want us to be sick. They want us to give up and become their slaves. Not in my Love Tribe. Nobody gives up. Nobody gives in or gives up. Yeah. We are free. We are sovereign, and we are healed. We are divine beings. And that's where I'm taking people with my school and with my work. So join me.
Plan on it. I'll be there.
We definitely will do that. And what you are probably doing there also is that by having all the people together, joining minds, you are creating a mastermind, which is much more powerful than single people or an individual by themselves.
Yes, every week we concentrate on an issue and I ask everybody to focus their intent on it. And I'm teaching them how to, direct your energy positively. This is the future. The future is about community and about using our energy sacredly and about standing in our power and not allowing these people to ever again, or these creatures or whatever they are, these energies, their frequencies and their satanic beings, and they're less powerful than we are. That's what we have to know. Yeah. And, when you claim your power, which I had to do, and just a little girl, I stood up, and said, you can't take my body, mind, and spirit. This belongs to God.
Yeah.
And so I knocked him back. And now some of them come to me. I can tell you, like the JFK assassin, I get a few dark ones now and then. And, everyone is welcome if you're really ready to surrender to your healing and to God's love.
Amazing.
Got a quick question on when you look at what is going on right now, and we wonder who is behind it. Do you feel there's an alien connection that is actually maybe giving the orders?
Yes. And it's also, I'm not a born again Christian, but I know that there are fallen angels. I am in contact with the angelic realm. I get messages from there all the time. This is a group of fallen angels. It's Lucifer's army. And most people don't know that in the vaccine that we're all struggling with right now is luciferase enzyme. That enzyme is what destroys your immune system.
Yeah.
It does the opposite of what they are saying that it does. So they have a plan that is Lucifer's plan, but we defeat it through love and light and truth, because it's not as powerful as what God's truth is. And this is about awakening the whole world. This episode we're living through was planned by God, really. Even the dark is working with God, because people have to be pushed awake. Would you bother to go become awake if you didn't go through suffering?
True.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have just gotten married, and had a white picket fence,
Right.
and the
Right.
kids, and a husband was, I did that. I tried, but
Right.
and next thing you know, I'm having this explosion of consciousness. So this is what is beautiful. I thank my abusers for forcing me to wake up. Thank you, bless you, and you are forgiven. And stop giving away your power to the dark forces. Everyone is going to come to the light, and you're welcome too.
It's beautiful.
I think it's going to happen for most people that wonder if it can be. Once you start wondering, is it possible? That's your gate to probably get in there. The ones that is totally closed it off and just not even interested in listening to anything outside of their box, they're probably going to go their own way and maybe get recycled. Maybe
Right. And do you notice how we have no interference now?
I
Yeah.
do.
So, they can pull all the tricks they want to pull, and who's ever ready is going to wake up this time. If you don't wake up this time, you wake up another time,
Yeah.
because everything was made by God. Ultimately, this is all, it's energy transforming into light from when we were cavemen and animals and there was violence and all this stuff. It has to turn into light. And that's a whole nother show where we talk about the stair step of consciousness into divine awareness. And so I'm holding the lantern for all of you. Come on this way, come up the path, It's much more fun at this end.
Yeah, it is more fun on this side.
Thank you so much. And we could not possibly end on a better note. Oh, Salini, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to see you. Augie, as always, thank you. Our amazing people in the chat room, and for all of you people who are going to watch this on the replay, thank you for being here. Thank you for shining your light, right? The beam is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and love has won. So
it is. Salini.love is my website. I didn't know if you said it. There was a lot of things I couldn't hear.
Thank you. Thank you. I gave emerging from the matrix.com.
Oh, no, that's my old one.
Okay.
So the new one is salini.love, SALINI.LOVE.
Perfect.
And it's just, it connects into the Emerging from the Matrix, which is my book, but I'm actually going to close down Emerging from the Matrix so people aren't confused.
Okay.
So come on over to the love. It's salini.love.
We're coming.
Okay. .love, is it .com or .net?
No,
or?
it's .love, and I never knew that existed.
Oh,
When I did this website, my website designer found it, and he said, how would you like to have .love instead of .com? And I said, yeah.
I love it.
It's like Salini.love, and people started calling me it's Salini Love, and I'm like, it's just me. It's just me.
That's
Just
great.
call me Salini. It's okay.
Salini.love. We'll be there. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thank you again, Salini. Thank you. Bye, Augie.
Namaste.
thank you.
Namaste.